everybody, this is Bob Georgiou, and we're going to talk about infographic number 2 in this short series of videos regarding home improvements. This infographic lists 5 different aspects of a house and their potential return on investment when improved. The 5 aspects are roof, hardwood floors, new garage door, better insulation, and new siding. This was a really weird infographic from my perspective. It gives return numbers that, well, in our tight market are basically invisible, and some of these things are just, at least in our market, would be questionably wrong. It says that with regards to a roof, it says that you get 109% return on your investment if you put a new roof on a property, and I think that is a tough number to justify. Roofs are expected to be in good shape when you have a home sale, and inventory has been so tight that if you have a roof that still has 7 years left on it, it's probably not gonna be a factor on a sale whatsoever. If a seller does go ahead and put a roof on because the roof needs it, it's within 3 years of the end of its life, decides to go ahead and put a roof, is he going to see an additional couple $1,000s out of the transaction? Possibly, but a number that small on most of the real estate in our area that has an average price of about $600,000 to $700,000, a couple $1,000s is going to get lost in the transaction. You can make that sort of money in alone by just staging a property and get that sort of return on your investment when it comes to selling a property. It's a number you have to look at with a cautious eye and keep it in perspective that this area is super tight on inventory, and some of these small increases that you might see and print somewhere are just going to get lost in the transaction. There are just ways to add value to a property and better ways to do it at lower cost and get more than a couple $1,000s out of it just by selecting the right realtor. The other aspect that it is hardwood floors, and this one is a no-brainer. You put hardwood floors in your house, you should get you should get the amount you invest in the property back plus 100% of the value. For example, if you put $10,000 of hardwood floors, all other things being equal, you should expect to see $20,000 back return on your investment. That one's an easy one, especially with high quality materials, or at least mid-grade materials, strips, wood tile that we spoke about in the last. Each of those things should bring back full value on its money plus some in any real estate transaction on most houses. I mean, unless the house is otherwise sketchy, which you're probably not going to be putting in brand new hardwood floors in anyways. That's an excellent way to invest money in a good property and get money back in return. Here's something that surprised me. It says you replace your garage door. This was the third aspect on the list. You replace your garage door and you're only going to get 87% of the money back on that. And this one is a little bit hard, not in the way that the roof is, but this is like if you invest money in a good high quality garage door and not just your typical roll up with the generic windows, and I'll get a couple photos and I'll show you 2 different garage doors. There are some garage doors that will actually add value to your property because they're just absolutely improve the curb appeal of your property beyond the value of the garage door. The average garage door at Home Depot costs about $1,000, $2,000 installed with a garage door opener, in that price point, maybe a little bit more. But we're not talking, these are the typical aluminum garage doors. They're just, you see them everywhere. But there are some really nice garage doors out there. If you spent $4,000 or $5,000, look like carriage doors or look like something really special, they will, with all other things being equal, of course, they will bring more value than the cost of the material, because It's an amenity that, along with other aspects, will enhance the property, enhance the curb appeal in a way that will make buyers emotionally connect to the property. The curb appeal is the first thing that the buyers see when they walk up to the property and they leave the property. And if you have a freshly painted home, even modestly painted in a real estate sort of way, with nice landscaping, little flowers, which, you know, flowers and ground cover, a couple $100 here or there, and a high quality garage door, you're going to get the cost of the garage door above and beyond the price paid for it. This is an easy decision to make, especially considering that I mentioned before, the average price of our homes in this area, whether Concord, Walnut Creek, Pleasant Hill, $700,000, $800,000, $900,000. This small amenity really does a lot for the emotional connection that buyers can make with your property. Better insulation and new siding, and both of these come at 75% return on your investment. And you know, this one is another number that kind of gets lost. Having new insulation and new exterior siding on your property can bring in more than the value if it's done well. And this is another thing where I'll post a couple of videos. And property number one is a typical California house with siding or stucco, and house number two has been redone with new stucco and new siding in a high quality fashion. And you see in the two houses that have the higher quality siding along with insulation to go along with it, again, just like the garage door, it improves the curb appeal of the property. When spending a little bit more money for high quality materials will enhance the curb appeal of the property and will bring in more value than just doing a simple replacement with just run-of-the-mill products on a side-by-side comparison, all other things being equal. The problem, of course, is that, you know, that everybody's house is different, and this is one of the things that makes real estate different from you know, automotive sales and all that. The amenities are the high-quality amenities are very hard to bring in and get put on a property. And it's hard to explain to sellers how doing these upgrades over a period of time are better than just bringing in a property that's in good state of repair at the very end. I've given you enough information on the two infographics, and what I'm going to do, this is a good stopping point for me to break and go into video 3, where I talk about doing improvements in aggregate versus doing things piecemeal, and give you some stories about how it'll affect the marketability of your property. And thank you very much for watching. My name is Bob Georgiou with RE/MAX Accord. Thanks for taking the time to watch the video, and we'll see you next time, or in escrow. Have a great weekend. Thank you.